and we'll make a start. I'm sitting here today chatting with Marian, and Marian is one of our incredible trainers. We've just been talking a little bit about youth and sports, and I know part of the passion for all of us is that we want to be working with young people. We want to get that feeling of we're starting early because we don't want to see the things that come later on. Marian, tell us a little bit about your history and what you most want to impart to every young person that you get to work with. It doesn't matter the sport that we're working with. And I love having you here today too, by the way, because I haven't seen you for so long.
Yes. Okay, my career journey. Wow. It's been a long one, even before the whole, starting part of it. I think I've always been a sports baby. I was surrounded by sports my entire life. But to cut a long story short, my journey began as a player, a basketball player, from the age of, I think, 13 to about 21, purely driven by my love for basketball. And fast forward to the end of 2022, I got a recommendation to for a coaching post where I'm currently working right now at Maurice Brothers, Lynn Mayer. Initially, I would say I was nervous. I was nervous because I had no history of coaching, and because the task of being responsible for so many young people, I found it very daunting. And so, but I must say, watching the people or the kids that I work with evolve, not just from being athletes, but as individuals as well, has opened up my eyes. And for example, when you meet players who are naturally reserved, right?
Mm.
They tend to shy away and not express their opinions. But now I'm working with players that are able to express their opinions with confidence. And yeah, so the experience has shown me that sports, in essence, can be the vehicle for personal growth and development and empowerment. And over the years, my passion for youth development has only deepened.
You know, it's really interesting. There's something we talk about. Like we have a lot of fun in the groups and in the team, and I notice
Yeah.
the banter that goes on, and there's this historic rhetoric that we have with each other. I mean, in listening to all of you, I think one of the things that really touches my heart the most is, the challenges. No matter what the challenges are that young people are facing in the room, like you said, the journey for them when they're working with us is about not just the room, it's about sport itself. And it's
Mm,
it's the it's the training of the mental muscle. It's the life skills, the
yeah.
mental skills. What have you seen happen with, young people that we've worked with in the teams that we work with? Because it's a really intimate space in that room, and you go off into the breakout rooms and you come back in together and they're going off to the platform and it's quite quick. Like when you think about it, like they're literally, for me, I marvel at it that it works so synchronous. It's great. It's like a whiz bang boom. And then suddenly you've got this young person who might have had some barriers up going, well, actually, I find it hard when. What do you see?
Um, what I see a young person growing into, um, blossoming into a beautiful flower. So first of all, before we enter those rooms, with the young athletes, it's we have to look at ourselves as trainers, because for us to deliver what we need to deliver with them and ensuring that they grow, they develop, and get the tools that they need, we need to make sure that we conquer self. So that was the first challenge, I must say. I needed to face myself, because when I look at them, or when I talk to them, rather, in our breakout rooms, I see myself a lot in most of them, because 80% of the time, I'm an ambivert naturally, but 80% of it, I can say that I'm an introvert. So it wasn't easy for me to break out and just be open to people and conversate. So when I see that, I say, okay, I realize it. How can I help, this person overcome the challenge or the barrier for them to be a better athlete or better individual, rather? So um, it's it's quite a task, when they're faced with these challenges. But as a trainer, it's my responsibility to make sure that they realize the power that they hold. If they're confident, then most definitely they're bound to conquer whatever challenges that they face on the field and off the field. Because what happens on the field is that sometimes the competition pressure can get to them, and it can be crippling, it can be detrimental for their progress. And then later on, you see the ripple effect of it off the field. So it's in those situations where I think, okay, this is where I come in. This is where my responsibility now needs to be seen through, where the tools are to ensure them that to ensure that they are incapacitated with the right tools to handle the pressure off and off and on the field. It's an opportunity rather to change that disadvantaged situation into a positive one for them.
You know, I've heard some of the greatest coaches in the world say that you've risen to the top, so therefore um, have got the prestigious position of being open to
Mm,
criticism. So because you are in the top team, or you're trying to get ahead, or you're trying to do something. Basically, that's where you're saying, well, I'm lucky enough to be in a place where I'm going to be critiqued because I want to be at the top of my game.
right.
So the
Mm,
greater that you climb, the more that you expect criticism. And it does, it
absolutely.
comes in droves. You do get that tall poppy syndrome, you do get so many other things that are happening. And so today I just wanted to zone in on the challenge. How do you stay ahead of the game? How do you keep young people facing forward? Because it can be really isolating, and you maybe not developmentally prepared. And this is a big shout out to parents, kids and coaches. Kids are not
Mm,
developmentally at that place where they're able
mm,
to be prepared for the level of criticism, for the picking apart stuff, for the things that we all have to develop that really thick skin for, and be able to develop
mm.
rhetoric. They're not in that place yet. So how do you prepare them? What do you see happening in our programs that prepares them better than any place else?
Oh, we provide a safe space. I think that's what I love about our programs. We provide a safe space for them to be comfortable, because when somebody is comfortable, they're able to express whatever it is that's going on internally. So that safe space, we ensure that as trainers, we provide it for them. And we've seen it multiple times where um, we roll out the carpet for them. They start slowly but surely, they start expressing themselves and voicing out what they truly feel. So it is amazing what the platform of being safe, and the platform where comfortability is what's the right word? I'm looking for the right word, where it is encouraged. Yes. Comfortability is encouraged. It allows them to be vulnerable, and knowing that none of that information that they share with us is going to be, expressed to somebody else outside the room. So providing that safe space, and um, having that conversation, get the conversation going with them, talk about what it is in their daily lives. It's not only about on the field, what happens with the colleagues, but what's happening outside at school, with at home, because so many things can contribute to how the person deals with situations. So for me, the number one thing that I so appreciative of as the Optimization Hub is the ability to offer that safe space for them.
Safe space combined with those skills as well. And I think that the nice thing
Yes.
that I'll pick on a little bit that you said there was that safe space and the level of trainers, that you've got 3 or 4
Mm,
trainers in that space. So even in the
mm,
automated program, you're experiencing different voices, and those different
yeah,
voices will look like you or might not look like you,
mm,
but they're saying the same thing in safe ways. And even through the
mm,
platform, the really cool thing is that if you're going through an automated program, then the
Mm,
athlete can get a hold of one of the trainers because they can just go straight through and say,
right.
hey, I just want someone to give me some feedback here. And that in itself is so powerful because sometimes you do not want to be in the room with other people. So even knowing
Yep.
that you can do an automated course, you've done something for yourself, you've gone, there's some aha moments. You've just got to throw yourself at it because I think you said that in the very beginning. You've got to chuck yourself
Mm,
at this so that you get the maximum benefit for you. And
right.
what do you think is the greatest barrier that young people face in doing that, though? Like in this day and age, it's not so easy. It's not so easy.
Mm, the fear of what other people think of whether your situation, your thoughts, the fear of being judged. It's a very prevalent challenge in not only the young people but even in adults. So I think what's holding back is, okay, if I share this with somebody, if I share this with the trainer, what are they going to think about me? So it's that fear that keeps holding them back. But I think if we overcome that through the skills, as you've mentioned, and just that platform and that space where they are comfortable enough to express themselves, then there's no holding back or there's no stopping them, brother.
So, where do you think the greatest success lies then for athletes today in 2025? If you were to pick off what they needed most, what's the top of your list?
Mm, I think mental health is one aspect that has been long forgotten, but I think when athletes are mentally healthy, it goes a long way. It's been an aspect that has been neglected. And if platforms like the optimization is offering that, when we're looking at that to say, listen, we are not neglecting your mental health as an athlete because it is the most important part of you as an athlete and as an individual, then nothing is impossible. So
One of the things
if
I'm gonna
more,
I'm gonna just jump in there with you
okay,
that
uh,
it is so much about them having access to the skills and the tools. The compassion, we talk about three things: health, habitat, humanity, and we're also talking about
yes.
health economics and what creates a great global citizen. So there's a lot of passion I can hear in you around this. Like I can hear it, it oozes from you. I see it in the room. There are barriers to young people sticking with, just and but now would you agree that sport needs to just make this part of, and not just sport, but even life skills in schools? It's so necessary just to have this as the greatest investment you make. Like I famously will say, if you go to McDonald's, it's the size of two McDonald's meals to go and do an automated course,
Mm,
or if you want to look at, memberships to different places, even like gyms, this is like the brain gym. And you can become a
mm.
member, you can hang out with the courses and have access to two or three. But at its bare minimum, do something. What do you think they need to do first? Every athlete now. I've got 2 minutes before we wrap up. Every athlete, what
Uh,
do you do in 2025?
Definitely invest in mental health programs and acquire the tools and the skills needed because mental health determines your resilience as an athlete.
Mm.
So, resilience, we're not only talking about you dealing with situations in that moment, but we're talking about you being prepared for those situations way before it happens. So, yes, I think this is the biggest investment that institutions, institutions, and athletes themselves individually can, you know, um, invest in, not only for themselves, but it goes a long way because the impact is great and it produces more.
I'll leave you with one of
Yeah.
my absolute favorites is that, when you're guiding young people, you're kind of in that rhetoric of, um, we used to say that young people were seen and not heard, whereas now they're heard. And quite often we're not the ones being seen. So we've got to make sure that we're talking at their level as well. So, consultation is really important. And that's something we're doing a lot
Right.
at OHub is just consulting. Hey, did you like that? What did you need more of? What did we not
Mm,
deliver that you would have hoped to have seen in
mm,
this course?
mm.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Marian, it was great to speak with you and see you. Um, we've worked a little
My
bit. The last
pleasure.
project we've been on has been the Erie project, and we're working there. We've got baseball coming up. We've got basketball coming up. There's a lot of young people coming in and migrating and doing different things. What's something that you would like to tell every young person who maybe has to live away from home as a fish out of water? What's something that you'd like to give them as a message to help them to keep going?
Mm, a little bit of advice. Okay, so for me, I think resilience is a cornerstone for everything. I mean, I'm talking from personal experience, but also my advice will be consistency is key because consistency beats talent. And no matter what you do, no matter what you do, you ensure that you are consistent, show up every day, ready to learn and improve. So that will be my biggest words of encouragement to the young athletes. Focus on building the habits that will breed um, more good behavior in somebody else or make that impact in somebody else. So, yeah, never be afraid to ask questions as well. When you don't know, it doesn't mean you should be stoned to death. Ask questions and you'll get the answers that you need and the solutions that you need.
I love it. Marian,
Yeah.
a great 15 minutes with you. Thank you so much. I'm looking
Thank
forward to next
you. Thank you for having me.